So, thank you all for joining. Like how I said, this week actually it's a week of Narasimha Chaturdashi. So, we will be discussing various pastimes and glories of Narasimha Dev, and also we will be discussing few prayers that we can chant regularly, and especially on the day of Narasimha Chaturdashi, to get a lot of mercy and the protection from Shrishti Narasimha Dev. And to start with Narasimha Dev, you all would know that Narasimha Dev is called as Vigna Vinashak because he's the destroyer of obstacles. So, um, like so many of the times, especially when we start some yajna, when we start some any of the process, and when we start something new, or even it is as simple as when we board into a train, or when we board into a bus, or when we start our car. So we pray to Narasimhadev to give us protection, because most often what happens is we don't know how the path is, we don't know how things will be, and how much of the dangers will be in our path. And that's why it's in general, it's a practice to pray to Narasimhadev before we start anything, to remove all the obstacles. Especially when it comes to our bhakti, we pray to Narasimhadev to remove all obstacles from the path of our bhakti, so that we can go back to Krishna, and we can live there happily. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually, he used to go to who's an incarnation of the Lord, he used to go to South India. And in South India there are so many temples of Narasimhadev actually, and he used to sing these prayers. And these prayers, they are written by Srila Vyasadeva. We will just you can mute in the muted state itself, you can recite these prayers. Many of you would know these prayers, but this is actually from Narasimha Sahasranam Stotra. So this is one of the important prayers. And even I wasn't aware that this prayer was written by Srila Vyasadeva himself, who was again an incarnation of the Lord. Shakti incarnation of the Lord. So you can all recite Jai Narsimha, Shri Narsimha, Jai Jai Shri Narsimha, Praladesha Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Bringa. Glories to Lord Narasimhadev, Lakshmi Narasimhadev, all glories to Lord Narasimhadev, the Lord of Pralad. Like a honeybee, he is always engaged in beholding the face of Goddess of Fortune. Like we had discussed in our previous session also, wherein when we take the name of Prahlad, who is a dear devotee of Narasimhadev, Narasimhadev will be reminded of his dear devotee, and he will also like us, because we also reminded him of the pure devotee of Narasimhadev. So this is a very beautiful prayer, and continuation of this prayer is this is again from the Narasimha Kavach. It's a Bija mantra, and we can always, these two prayers, it hardly takes 30 seconds to chant these prayers. So whenever we find ourselves in a situation where we just have few seconds, and we want to recite the prayers and receive the benedictions, that is basically receive some protection, and get away from the chaos, or get away from the anxiety obstacles, we can just chant this mantra. And I always, usually I chant this mantra, so that I get a lot of confidence, and I get that sense of protection, that yes, Narasimha Dev is right here, and he is always there to protect. And this mantra is also very, very famous mantra. You can chant along with me. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jwalantam Sarvato Mukham Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrutyor Mrutyum Namamyaham. My obeisances unto the ferocious and powerful, the great Vishnu, the fiery one, whose faces are all on all the sides. Like in even in the Narsimha Arti, when we sing Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha, Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha. If we think, oh, Narasimha Dev is in this direction or that direction, no, he's in all the directions. So we can stand in any of the directions, and we can actually recite these prayers. So we don't have to see, oh, I'm in this direction, should I change my direction, should I sit, should I stand? No, you can chant this prayer in any direction. And he's the like he looks so fiery when we see him, Ugra Narasimha. But actually it is said that for the demons, he's like the lion, and he's like the roaring lion. For the devotees, he's like a cat who is just holding a little kitten in his mouth. So what does cat do? So the cat looks very ferocious to the rats, but the same cat, it is when it is holding the kittens, so it is out of the mamata, it is out of the motherly love, fatherly love. So similarly, for the devotees, when we pray with love and when we pray in a mood of receiving protection, receiving that, mercy, then same Lord Narasimhadev, who is Ugra, he becomes Anugra. That is, he becomes very, very merciful to all of us, actually. And so in this way, these two prayers are very, very important prayers, and when we have just few seconds, so it's always good to recite these prayers. Also, we will see the longer version of these prayers which we have to recite for for the extensive protection for our health, end to end bodily health and spiritual health and everything. So when I initially when I started coming to the temples, so the first arti that I ever learned is Narsimha arti, actually. So it'll be for most of you also. So for most of the is like devotees, actually Narsimha arti is one of the easiest arti, and it's one of the first arti we all recite and learn. And how, what is the origin of this Narsimha arti? Actually, when Srila Prabhupada was once in Los Angeles, so there was a bomb blast that happened actually in the Los Angeles temple. And actually nothing happened to the temple. Just there was there was a lot of fumes, and then some few things got just destroyed, but no one was harmed. But the devotees were like all very, very fearful, because that was their first time going through something like that in the temple premises. And few things were burnt. And Prabhupada at that time, he said that now the time has come. We have to bring this form of the Lord that would clear all the obstacles, that would, bring a lot of auspiciousness in the life of devotees, bring lot of, protection aspect to the temple. And that's how actually the Narasimha deity used to, started being installed in all throughout the world, actually. It is said that 6 out of 7 continents in the whole world, Narasimha Dev deity is there. It's not just in India, it's just throughout the world, actually. And then what do you say, this Narasimha Arti also. So there is a very, very beautiful story that after Lord introduced Narasimha Dev's deity everywhere. So like people, like the devotees, they didn't know how to worship Narasimha Dev because he's the most ferocious form of the Lord, and they were all scared at that time. Prabhupada told that you just sing this Narasimha Arti in a very, very loving manner, and Lord, who is who's so called, he looks so called ferocious, he becomes like a very, very loving Lord to you, and he gives you utmost protection. And that's how the first part of the Narsimha Arti, it is actually from the Narsimha Purana. And the second part, actually, the Tavakara Kamala Vare that we sing, that is from the Jayadeva Goswami's Dashavatara Stotra. Dashavatara Stotra, all the 10 avatars of the Lord, the glorification is made, and that about the Narsimha Dev, whatever glorification is made, that's given in the Dashavatara Stotra. So like even kids, in our community, even kids know this bhajan, and it's usually the first bhajan to learn. So if you all don't know this bhajan, so you can Google like ISKCON Narasimha Arti, and you can learn this arti. And whenever you go in front of the Lord, you can offer this. It's a very, very beautiful arti. Now the story of Prahlad Maharaj. Recently, actually, one of the Matajis, she told me that how is this Prahlad Maharaj, like what is the past life of Prahlad Maharaj, and why is he struggling so much in this life, I mean in the Satya Yuga, and why did he get Hiranyakashipu as his father? So the story actually goes like this, that in the previous life, Prahlad Maharaj, he his name was not Prahlad Maharaj. He was basically a Brahminical child, who in his youthhood, like around 20-24 years of age, so he fell in love with a girl, and then he asked to meet that girl in one of the forest. And in that forest, he asked the girl to come to a particular spot, which is in basically an abandoned temple, isolated place called. It's because that temple, usually because it is abandoned, nobody would come, and he would actually talk to his girlfriend. So when he reached there, actually, that on that particular day, so he saw that temple is completely dirty, and there is no place for them to sit or stand or anything. So he thought that now, before my like girlfriend comes, let me just sweep and clear the temple, so that it looks little a good place, so that she doesn't get a lot of fearful, and she feels that yes, here we can wait for some time. So he started taking a broom, and he started brooming, and then cleaning the temple like spick and span, he cleaned the temple so nicely. And it is said that that day happened to be, that was Narasimha temple, and that day happened to be Narasimha Chaturdashi. And just because he did that one small activity of cleaning the temple, that pleased Narasimha Dev so much that in his next life, when he came, again, why did he come in the in the family of demons? Because again, he was passed to that previous to this life, he was actually engaged in lot of sinful activities, because of which again he had to take birth in a demoniac family. But because he did that one activity, and also when his when his girlfriend came, they started fighting over the place and over the things like that. And whole day they were all they both were fighting, and they didn't have any morsel of food, and even the whole night they didn't sleep. So that way, just the small little things that we do, that's why we see on the special days like Ekadashi, Narasimha Chaturdashi, Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, any auspicious day, basically little austerities that we take for the Lord, even though it might look like austerity, but it has a immense benefit life after life. You see, because he did that activity of cleaning the temple on that auspicious day in the next life, just to prove his words right. Prahlad Maharaj's words right, Lord came from Stambha, like he came from the pillar. It's such a wonderful thing that Lord came only for this one devotee. So it's not that like Lord came only at that time. Even he is there, he'll come for all of us. All we have to do is offer little things. Now, even Narasimha Chaturdashi day is coming, so we can take the most advantage. We can hear about the Lord, and today we'll be discussing few prayers. And even in the last session, we discussed a prayer on, prayer that is offered by Prahlad Maharaj. It's a very beautiful Narasimha prayer, which Prahlad Maharaj chanted. It's in Srimad Bhagavatam. So we can all recite these prayers. We can hear these prayers, hear something about the Lord, and then we can, if we have some opportunity, we can go to the nearby center, nearby temple, offer some service. Or even if not, we can offer a flower to the Lord. We can offer some water to the Lord. If tulsi is there, we can offer tulsi to the lotus feet of the Lord. So in this way, you see, we can engage ourselves in little service, especially on that day. I mean, definitely throughout the year, but especially on that day, because it is said that on the birthdays, they'll be more merciful, because they'll be in a happier mood, so they'll be more merciful. And whatever we pray, for protection, for mercy, for blessings, they'll it's easier for them to bestow, because they're in a happy and appearance mood. So that's way. And now, like now that we know about Prahlad Maharaj story, also now we'll discuss about one amazing story about Narasimha Dev, that is Mayapur Narasimha. So I'm not sure how many of you got an opportunity to go to Sridham Mayapur. So Mayapur is an Audharya Dham, and there Radha Madhav Ashtasaki Vrinda, very beautiful deities are there, and Panchatattva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu deities are there, and even very beautiful Rajapur Jagannath Baladev Subhadramaya deities are there in Rajapur. And one of the most beautiful and most ferocious form of Narasimha Dev's deity, that is Ugra Narasimha Dev's deity, is there in Mayapur. So few of us got an opportunity to go to Mayapur. Few of us in this call also, we have gone to Mayapur together. And that's it's a place of blessings. Actually, it's a place of peace and happiness. We get a lot of satisfaction by going to that place. And today, we will discuss two three different stories from how this Narasimha Dev came here, and how this the various pastimes Narasimha Dev did, and the way he reciprocated with the Lord, and how we can capture that, the way Lord reciprocated to other devotees, how we can capture that mood, and how we can beg to Narasimha Dev so that he also reciprocates to us, especially at the time of danger, especially at the time of anxiety, at the time of chaos in our life. So it said that this is actually 1984, 24th March. On that day, actually what happened is, when this is again after the temple, everything was established. At that point of time, only Panchatattva and Radha Mother deities, Ashtasaki Vananda deities were there. If you know the deities over there, so basically Radha Krishna deities were there. So once the dacoits, no, they attacked the temple, because that was an area of like the Mayapur now is like, it's completely, there are shops around, if you go there, there is theater, like Mayapur theater, where all the time the devotional movie will be running, and there'll be various prasadam stores, pizza store, pizza Prabhu, and then Momo Prabhu, like this. But at that point of time, it was all complete forest, and then this one temple was existing, and few people, and even the Muslims around, and then the people around would come there and worship the Radha Krishna there. And once so happened that when this dacoit, overnight they attacked the temple, and they had very ferocious weapon, and the devotees who were staying there, they try to protect the Lord. And when they try to protect the deities, because all these people dacoits, they directly went and they started taking like Srimati Radharani deity, and then they started taking Prabhupada's deity, and these devotees didn't know what to do. And Prabhupada also was not there at that point of time, because this is like 1984, and Prabhupada had already gone back to God at that point of time. So uh, they were trying to protect the deities. They were going and hugging the deities and trying to protect the deities, because as devotees we don't have any weapons. Like we usually don't sit with the gun and everything. And at that point of time, because the temple had initially started, so there was no much security to the temple. Also, it was devotees, few devotees who were staying, brahmacharis who were staying. They were protecting the temples basically. So these dacoits, they even shot devotees. And even now, if you like, if you can go, if you want, you can Google His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj. He's there even now with only one leg, because he lost that another leg during this dacoit attack, when he tried to save the deities. Actually, like this, many people got injured. And then after this incident happened, they established the deities back, Radha Madhav deities back and everything. But they were all very scared, because they wanted to, they wanted this temple to flourish, people to come, and they wanted to protect these deities and not get, not harm, not let any of the deities to be in harm. So one of the senior devotees, so they decided that we'll establish Narasimhadev Vigraha, because Narasimhadev is the ultimate protector. And Prabhupada, in the footstep of Prabhupada used to always install Narasimhadev deities, Narasimhadev photos, wherever there was obstacles, and wherever there was some act of fear. So they decided that we'll come up with the Narasimhadev deity. And there was a group of people like Atmadev Prabhu and set of people. They came up with the DT, sketch. And the DT sketch, you can imagine the DT that they drew was the DT that just came out of the pillar. Narsimhadev, he's Prahlad Maharaj is saying that to Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu is asking, is your Lord is in this pillar? Is your Lord is in that pillar? And Prahlad Maharaj is actually able to see the Lord in that pillar, lovingly seeing him. And then he says, yes, he is also there in that pillar. And then Hiranyakashipu, he breaks the pillar. And at this point of time, the Narsimha in the Ugravesh, who is coming out, he's just, you can see this picture that I put here. He is having that red eyes, because the eyes have become red, because of the anger that Hiranyakashipu has troubled his devotee, that anger. And then you can see the feet also, the thighs are bending, because he's in the Lord is in the standing form. He's just come out of the pillar, and he's in that Ugravesh, ready to pounce upon Hiranyakashipu, and then just to take out his intestine and kill him. So that Ugra form they have drawn. And like they know that this form of Lord will always protect the devotees, so they wanted that form of the Lord to be established in Mayapur temple. So now, like again, they didn't know, like they drew the sketch, but they didn't know who will do the sculpture and from where they'll get this sculpture. So they started inquiring. They started they knew that in South India is famous for all the sculptures, and even for the Narsimhadev deity all over, wherever we go, be it Karnataka, be it Tamil Nadu, be it Kerala, be it Andhra Pradesh. So wherever we go, there are so many Narasimhadev's deity all over actually. So they said that go to South India, and then you search for some sculpture like this. Atmadev Prabhu, he took this the rough sketch he had, and he started going. And wherever he used to go to the sculpture, and he used to ask, like, can you please do this deity for us, for our ISKCON Mayapur. So everybody used to say, no, 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 this is like the most ferocious form of the Lord. We are very scared to do the sculpture, because if anything little mistake happens, then it's very harmful for all of us. So nobody agreed. And finally, they got to know about one famous sculptor who is actually a temple architect also, and who was also well versed with all the shastras and scriptures. So they got to know about him, and then they went to him. And then when they went to him, and they started sharing him that we are from ISKCON, we have come from Mayapur. And he received them very nicely, actually, because Prabhupada's glory is all over the world. So he received them very nicely initially. And then after that, they started discussing about why you have come here. He started asking. And then these devotees, Atma Dev Prabhu and everyone, they started saying that they showed the DT, the sketching that they did. And then they started that saying, we have heard a lot of glories about your sculpture art, so we want you to draw these, sculpt this Narasimha Dev for us, because we are having a lot of trouble in our temple, so we want this Narasimha Dev. And that sculpture, he just completely rejected them, because he told them that it's not at all possible. There are so many stories wherein this fierce form of Narsimha, people could not worship, and then the backfire had happened, and they could not take care of the deity very nicely. And that's when people started getting a lot of difficulties, because they were not able to serve the deity nicely. So the highest form of worship has to be offered. And he said that he started reading some book that he had about Narasimha Dev, and he said that there are 9 forms of Narasimha Dev, and in this, the one which you are showing, it is the most ferocious form. It is the Ugra form of the Narasimha Dev. And I cannot even sculpt this Narasimha Dev. You please go back. So he just, even though initially he welcomed them very nicely, he just disagreed, and then he sent them back. And now Atmadev Prabhu came back to Mayapur, and this he gave the sad news to everybody that, I don't know, I for 6 months, for around 6 months, I went around South India. I only could find one sculpture, but he did not one sculpture who was actually capable of doing this. Others though rejected initially, but this one, he knew that he could do it, but he didn't want to do it. So then they prayed to Radha Madhav Panchatattva, and they also prayed to Narasimha Dev that we need you here. We are in dearth of protection. We want you here, so please come, please do some miracles. So they all started praying to Narasimha Dev. And then what happened is, again, back in that sculpture place, actually, it bothering him that these ISKCON devotees, they're very nice, and they had come long way, and they were asking me to sculpt this deity. Now he went to his guru, actually, from Kanchipuram. He went to Kanchipuram to his guru, and he wanted to ask his guru, can I do this? And when he told his guru that all the story, and showed him the sketch, actually, what happened is, before this also, he disagreed to sculpt it. So at that time, Atmadev Prabhu told that at least you draw a better version of the sketch and give, because we devotees, we have drawn a rough sketch, you draw a better version of sketch. So he that sculpture, he drew a very wonderful, you can see this, the same Narasimha Dev who is right in front of us, the same sketch he did. And just by seeing the sketch, all the Mayapur Vasis were like, they went crazy. They said that this is the Narasimha Dev we want right in our temple. And but he did not agree. Now he went to Guru, and he showed this art. And at that time, Guru said that bilkul nahi, because he the guru started sharing so many stories, wherein they established the deity, and then they were not able to take care of the deity. And then so many stories happened in Mysore and in various parts of South India. He shared a lot of stories, and then he said that good that you rejected that deal with them. Please don't go, please don't agree. And then again he said that he asked them, who are these deities, who are these devotees who want Ugra Narasimha, who want to worship Ugra Narasimha day in day out, the highest standard in in the deity worship era. So then they said that these are the deities, devotees from ISKCON Mayapur, and then they want to get the protection. And then his the guru's heart little he started melting, and he said that, okay, you go back, let me also check with others, and then I'll let you know. So this person, he came back, and after like a few couple of days, what happened is these devotees, they went to different other sculptures, and they asked, but again nobody agreed. So then they realized that the only person who could sculpt is this person, who drew this art, drew this actual sketch. So they went back to him, and when they asked him, they begged him that, please, can you do it for us? He agreed. And they were in shock, like, what happened? So he said that he had a dream wherein his guru told him that, yes, you can go ahead and you can do this deity. And also he after within a few days, he got a letter from his guru saying that, now I'm having a very deep feeling. I don't know from where I'm getting this feeling. I'm having a very deep feeling that this Narasimha Dev wants to come to Mayapur, and other than you, there is no other sculpture who is that capable of drawing this, because he's Ugra Narasimha, right, coming from the from the stamba. So you just start the work like that. And finally Atmadev Prabhu is very happy. He says that how many months it'll take. So they'll say that 6 months. He'll say that the sculpture will say 6 months. He'll go back and announce this happy news to the Mayapur people that, yes, in 6 months we will have our Narasimha Dev deity back, Narasimha Dev deity established in our temple. And after 4 months, they will send Atmadev Prabhu to get some paraphernalia for Narasimhadev, and also to see how the deity installation is happening. And when he goes, he has that sculpture, like he purchases few deity yeah, paraphernalia for worship, and then he goes back to the sculpture and asks, like, what is the progress? Can you show me, to what extent you have completed the deity? So he says, what deity? I have not even started it. And then Atmadev Prabhu is very upset. He asks why. Then the sculpture says that, uh, you know, uh, I have not even found the stone, a single stone to start with this sculpture work. And then Atmadev Prabhu says that, there are so many stones here in South India. Why can't you just take some stone and start? And then the sculpture says, he becomes very upset, and he says that, no, for the deity, especially for the Narasimha Dev deity, for any deity for that matter, we need a living stone. And he says, what are the two functions of the living stone? First thing is, they will hit the stone in 7 places, and when they hit the stone in the 7 places, they'll get specific sound, the sculpture. So when they get that specific sound, they'll realize that, yes, this is a living stone, and this stone is ready to become a deity. And second thing is, they will leave a bug, the insect actually on the stone, and that insect will make a path around the stone. When it makes a very beautiful trail around the stone, they'll realize that, yes, this is the actual stone that is used. So he says that, I have not found that stone yet. And then he Atmadev Prabhu goes back, and again they offer worships to they pray to Radha Madhav, they pray to Narasimha Dev himself. And now they get a news saying that they have found a stone. And even the Atmadev Prabhu, he goes back, and they start the sculpture. Initially they'll begin with this, these hands you can see here with the khadga. So this hand with the armlet, so that they start with the hand, and it'll initially he'll take a lot of time to just the have a look at the stone, and then slowly he'll come up with the hands, and other Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, and you can see the fierce weapons in his hand. So he'll come up with the hands first, and then soon, in around 6 months, he will be in a way to complete the carving of the deity. And when the he the when the deity creation is complete, actually what happens is, how does a stone become a deity? So a very very scientific thing is there behind that. Actually, what happens is, when the deity is carved as per the details that is mentioned in the scriptures, not just whimsically. And then there is a ceremony called as Netra Milan. So this Netra Milan happens, and then also Prana Pratishtha of the deity happens, wherein they do lot of yagna yagas, and then they do lot of uh, activities via which they invoke the Lord. So the Lord himself comes and stays in the deity. So the deity becomes the Lord actually. It's not that, Lord comes and goes. At that, once the Parana Pratishtha of the deity is done, wherever it is throughout the world, so whichever deity, so once the Vishnu deity, especially any forms of Vishnu, so once the Lord comes there, and he stays there forever. And the when the final deity is ready, so the sculpture, he goes to rest in his house, in his another uh, place, a nearby shady area. He goes to rest, and all the people around his home, they come running to him, and they say that, why are you even sitting here so aram say, your house is burning, just go and see. And when he goes and sees that, he sees that his whole, the top part of the house is burnt. And Narsimhadev, he's very safely, peacefully, he's waiting there, and then he sends he sends a message to the Mayapur. Your deity has started causing a lot of destruction. You just please come and take the deity. Your deity doesn't want to be here. Narsimhadev doesn't want to be here even for a moment. He wants to be in Mayapur. You just come and take this Narsimhadev. So then they'll come, and they will the deity will be weighing 1 ton, you can imagine. So they'll put the deity in the big truck, and there'll be a lot of customs and checkings. And because they have to cross the border, and wherever they go that day when they're taking the deity back, Atmadev Prabhu says that wherever they go, the police, they see the deity, they see the documents, then automatically their face changes. They become very obliged, and they say, okay, okay, you can go. So usually it'll take almost 2 to 3 days to pass all the customs and go reach Mayapur. But they say that wherever they used to go, all the check-ins and every custom points, so everybody used to see the deity, and then they used to leave. And that way they reached just in 1 day. They reached Mayapur just in 1 day, because the Lord wanted to reach there so soon. And when they reach there, they realize that this utsav of Netra Milan and Prana Pratishtha, which they wanted to do once the Lord comes, they get to know that the sculpture has already done it. As soon as he has carved the deity, he has already done it. So the Lord himself is there now. So that's why all these fiery incident happens, indicating that Lord wants to go to Mayapur, and everybody is so pleased. The police, the customs, everybody is so pleased that they are allowing him to go. They didn't have any obstacles. And now the deity is established in the temple, and now everybody is like, who will worship him, who will worship the Lord? Because everybody's heard a lot of stories that if we don't worship in the highest possible standard, then it's not at all possible to I mean, we may get some repercussions. So finally they'll decide that Pankajangri Prabhu and Janani Vas Prabhu, two twin brothers, they'll decide to worship the Lord. And there are so many wonderful stories. Now I'll be sharing you so many goosebump getting stories of this Lord Narasimhadev, right in the Mayapur temple actually. So what happened is, right after the after the deity establishment here in Mayapur, the Pankajangri Prabhu, he started worshipping the Lord. And one day, what happened is a snake started coming inside the temple, inside the Narasimhadev's Mandir. You see, this is the Narasimhadev's Mandir. In this picture states, a snake directly entered into the Garbha Graha, basically, inside near the Lord. And then Pankajangri Prabhu was very worried, because he was offering worship. I mean, any one of us will be so scared. But he cannot stop the worship, so he'll continue his worship. And the snake came, he just did pradakshina, he just circumambulated, and he went back. And Pankajangri Prabhu and everybody were in shock. And for a long period of time, it is said that in the initial days, the snake used to come regularly, he used to do pradakshina, and very calmly he used to go. He was not at all giving trouble to anyone. And it is said that the Narasimhadev, even though he's in the Ugra form, in the he's in the Audharya Dham. What is Audharya Dham? In Vrindavana, it is called as Madhurya Dham. That is, Vrindavana is known for its great sweetness, like how Lord used to be in the Gopa form, and then he used to herd the cows, he used to drink milk, eat butter, steal butter. A lot of sweet pastimes he has done in Vrindavan. And Jagannath Puri, it is Aishwarya Dham. Aishwarya means it's a land of opulence where we worship Lord, not like a cowherd boy, but with great awe and reverence actually. And Mayapur is Audharya Dham. Audharya Dham means land of mercy. That is Navadvip Mayapur. So in Navadvip Mayapur, all the deities, Radha Madhav deities, Panchatattva deities, are very merciful, loving. And it is said that even Narasimhadev, even though he's in the Ugra form, he is very loving, very caring, and very merciful. And we'll see, at least we'll see 3 to 4 stories, and then we will end with the prayer today. So actually what happened is, there was a after this installation of the deity, after few days, so that there was one devotee who would who would come to take the darshan of the Lord. If 7 o'clock, actually the darshan aarti starts. The 7 o'clock, the first darshan happens is the darshan of the Narasimha Dev actually. So this devotee used to come, and he had a lot of pain in his legs actually. He was not able to stand without any support. So in front of Narasimha Dev's mandir, there was a pillar. So he used to always take support of that pillar, and he used to stand. And there, one day, I mean, after many days, one day he finally decided that the pain is unbearable and I'm unable to stand. Even with support also, I'm unable to stand now. But I want to come and offer my service to the lordships here. So he prayed to Narasimhadev, Lord, please help me. Please take away this suffering so that I can serve you fully. He and when he offered that prayer, he says that he saw that the pain came out from his leg to the top of the body, and it got out of his head, and he became all fine. In no moment he became all fine. And from that day onwards, he had no pain, and all his bodily limbs were like fit and fine, and he started serving Lord in a very better way actually. This all happened in a fraction of seconds. And there is another story. The one of the pujari, actually, his name is Bhavasiddhi Prabhu. So the Bhavasiddhi Prabhu, when he used to offer worship to the Lord Narasimhadev, he was very fearful actually, because he had heard that, oh, if I do some mistake, I may get some repercussion, because this is Ugra form. So he used to always be in a fearful way. He used to do his worship. And once what happened, when he went to sleep, at that time he saw that from back somebody held his shoulders. And when he turned, he sees it's Narasimhadev, and he says that, don't be fearful. Um, I am in Mayapur. I'm in a very loving form, even though I'm in a Ugra form. I look like a Ugra form, but I'm in a very very loving manner. I will be reciprocating with all of you very lovingly, so you don't have to worry about me. So you can lovingly worship, and I don't want this fearful worship, like other places. I want you to lovingly worship without any worry, that I am here to just accept your worship lovingly, and not to give any trouble to any of you, just to give you protection. And then Narasimhadev disappears, and this person, he runs to the temple, he offers obeisances, and then he begs to the Lord Narasimhadev, he asks for forgiveness. And then people will ask, what happened, and then they'll narrate the story. And then he will, show that Lord put his hand on his back, and people were able to see Narasimhadev's 2 fingers on his shoulders. It's like unimaginable. And this Prabhu, even like after many years, he shows that there are little slight marks that remained on his body when Narasimhadev had kept his hand. And in that way he started worshipping very lovingly. And one other incident happened, wherein when people were offering when the pujari was offering the worship, one flower fell from the garland. And pujari started asking, did anyone pray for anything? The flower has fallen, you can come front and take this flower. This is during the aarti, after the aarti. And one lady, out of nowhere from behind, she comes and she's crying, and she says that my daughter, she recently got married. She's in South India. And even though nothing she's all fine, all her astrology and everything is good, but her husband's side, they consider her as inauspicious, and they're torturing her, they're giving her a lot of trouble. And I was praying to Narasimhadev that please help her, she's a very kind person, very good hearted person, so please help her, help my daughter. And then he gave that flower, then the pujari gave that flower to the that lady, and he said that you just wash this flower in the water and ask her to uh, you know take it in the form of charanamrit. And then all these things ended, and after 1 year, that lady comes with her child, with her daughter and her daughter's husband and child, and she had that, they everything reversed, and they started loving that daughter. And then they had a that daughter had a beautiful child, boy child, and the daughter named that child Prahlad. And they came, and then they did a lot of nice offerings to Lord Narasimhadev. In this way we see Narasimhadev, he reciprocates to everybody, whoever goes, whoever, even wherever we are, we pray to Narasimhadev, he offer he offer lot of reciprocation actually. And one other incident happened in Mayapur, where little girl Revati, she was of age 8, and when she was near Mayapur temple only, there was a bamboo house. She was climbing that bamboo house. That there is a bamboo steps actually. She was climbing, and then the bamboo steps collapsed. She fell, and the whole bamboo house fell on top of her. And like she was into complete injury, and she started vomiting blood. And when they went to the doctor, they said that it is CFL, I mean brain fluid is leaking, because of the brain is swollen because of that. Lot of surgeries has to be made. And then they said that they said that they want to do a special scan the next day, and they want to see this much. They had they had detected that it is a brain fluid leakage, brain is swollen. They want to know to what extent the injury has happened. So tomorrow from 7 to 8, we will do a brain scanning, extensive scanning, and we will see what operation has to do to repair the damage. Now these Revati's parents, little girl's parents, they'll call to Pankajangri Prabhu, who is a pujari of this Narasimhadev. And Pankajangri Prabhu will tell that 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. I will do full puja with Abhishekam, with Pushpa Abhishekam also, and offer Tulsi. And Archana I'll do. And then we will see what happens. He just consoles them. And then when the new scanning happens, uh, you know uh, the doctors will be surprised, because they'll see that there is no injury in the head actually. And all the nose bleeding, brain fluid leakage, everything stopped out of nowhere. And they'll come out at 9 a.m. and then they say that nothing happened, I mean everything is normal, back to normal today. And there is some here and there little injuries, for which we'll give the medicines, you can take your daughter back home. you know and doctor even says that I don't know how all this happened. And her blood vomiting and nose bleeding, everything stops instantaneously. And then that little girl Revati, she offers a prayer. Thank you Narsimhadev for your protection. And very very in a kind way, that little girl, she says to her parents that next time something happens to me, please take me to Narsimhadev and not to doctor. Definitely, I mean in a lighter way. And then another story which I heard, that also gave me a lot of faith actually. That one 14-year-old boy, he got injured during the Diwali time because of the cracker burst. And he was taken to various hospitals, and everybody said that the facial dressing has to be done, chemical crafting has to be done, his face has to be changed. And second degree burn is there, so they have to do a lot of surgery and things like that. And then they took to Apollo Hospital in Kolkata. They Because the local doctors in Mayapur, they couldn't take care of the wounds. So when they went there, so they again told that second degree burn is there, facial dressing we have to do. So we will get started with the dressing. At the same time, these parents, so they again called Pankajangri Prabhu, and they said that please offer prayers, because they have also heard of all these miraculous stories. So they said please offer prayers. And then Pankajangri Prabhu is offering the prayers, and here the nurse, she goes to do the initial facial dressings. And she comes out, shockingly she comes out, and she reveals to her parents that there is no wound on his face. It They were all in shock. And the parents go to see the kid inside, and there is no injury, no trace of injury, no marks. And the doctor, he's in shock. And like everybody is like stuck motionless, they're amazed. And they say that doctor, they ask doctor, the devotees, they ask doctor, doctor, what happened, how did this happen? And the doctor says that ये तो आपके भगवान का ही चमत्कार है. आप you go back to your lord and ask him what did he do. I am no in no position to answer this. Like there's so many stories are there. Actually, I have a PDF about Narasimha Dev in Mayapur. What are the stories that happened, and how Lord reciprocated. So if any of you want to read, it's a very short PDF actually. Any one of you wants to read, so you can let me know. I'll just share it with you all. So now in next 10 minutes, we will discuss about Ahobilam Narasimha, which is like so close to all of us, like in Karnataka. From Karnataka, so many times we go to Ahobilam for yatra. So if you have not yet been to Ahobilam yet, so HBR, our ISKCON HBR temple, once in a month or once in 15 days or so, they take to the Ahobilam yatra. So it's like a trekking yatra basically. So they give us two sticks, and we can go up all up to the pillar, the Jwala Narasimha temple. And very very beautiful Narasimha Dev you can actually see. So we will learn few prayers actually from these Ahobilam Narasimha. So um, how did this Ahobilam name came actually? In the Brahmanda Purana, it is mentioned that when Narasimhadev, like half lion, half man, he incarnates, the incarnation comes out of the pillar. So all the Devi Devatas, they were like in shock. And because they have never seen such a form of the Lord, half man and half Lord, half lion, that is Narahari. And they started like offering this shloka, which I've mentioned here. Aho Viryam, Aho Shuryam, Aho Bahu Parakramam, Narasimha Param Devam, Aho Balam. Ahobilam, Ahobilam, Ahoviryam. This is what great power. Ahoshauriyam, what great heroism. Aho Bahu Parakramam, what strong arm this personality of Godhead has. And then this is Narasimham Param Devam. Narasimha is the Supreme Lord. And where he appeared in a place called as Ahobilam. And Ahobilam, this is Ahobalam, what great strength he has, what great strength he has. So this is the place actually where Lord Narasimhadev appeared, and this is the Ahobilam Kshetra actually, which is so close to us, which is so accessible to all of us actually. We have to visit, and it is said that it is one of the 108 Divya Deshas. That is, it's scientifical holy dhams. The Vaishnava Sampradaya, there is 108 dhams which they have to visit. This is one of the Divya Deshas. And it is said that in this Ahobilam Kshetra, Lord Shiva came. Lord Shiva, he is the Vinashamurti actually. You all know. He is in charge of the cosmic annihilation, that is dissolution of the universe, the total annihilation of the universe. He's in the mode of ignorance. So no, he's not in the mode of ignorance. In the mode of ignorance, does the dissolution actually. Goodness, passion, and ignorance. So he came to this Shiva, Lord Shiva, he came to Narasimha Kshetra, he came to Narasimha Dev, he offered obeisances, he asked blessings from Narasimha Dev. I want to perform this service as a Rudra, I want to bring the total cosmic annihilation, so please empower me. So at that time, Narasimha Dev, this Ugra Narasimha Dev, he gives a portion of his power to Lord Shiva, and then he chanted mantra in Lord Shiva's ears, by which, like that mantra, chanting that mantra, the total annihilation could happen, and Lord Shiva will not be touched by it. That's why you see Lord Shiva is called as Mrityunjaya. He's also called as Amaranath. Why? Because he received this mantra by which the whole universe will be annihilated, but Lord Shiva will not be. He will be untouched by it. And also there is another story that is mentioned that the Lord's carrier, who's the famous carrier, Garuda Dev. So Garuda Dev wanted to see the Lord in a very very wonderful form. So at that time he did a meditation in one of the hills here in South India. At that time Narasimha Dev appeared in a cave, and this Garuda gets to know in his meditation that Narasimhadev has appeared. So Narasimhadev, he flips his wings and he reaches that cave. And when he comes to see there, he says that effulgence is coming from that cave, and he starts shouting. The what Garuda Dev starts shouting, Ahobilam, Ahobilam, what a great cave, which is like completely lit by the effulgence of the Lord. Bilam means it's a cave, basically it's a hole. So in that way he started Ahobilam, Ahobilam, and that's why this place is also called as Ahobilam, they say. And in this place there is Nava Narsimha actually. So we will recite the shloka. If you all are there, you can see this and recite the shloka. Jwala ahobila malula क्रोध करंज भार्गवः योगानंद छत्रवटा pavana navamurtaya. So there are 9 Narsimas, and 9 Narsimas, when we take the darshan, there is a benefit that we get. There is this Bhargava Narsimha. This is worshipped by Parashuram actually. You know Parashuram with the axe. It is said that on the bank of Akshaya Tirtha, there is a little water place. So where he used to offer that water to the Lord, and he used to meditate on the Parashuram used to meditate on Lord Narasimha. And it is said that whoever takes darshan in the Ahobilam of this Bhargava Narsimha, they get protection not just by Narasimha but by Parashuram. Parashuram will stand next to them holding the axe and protects them. And next is what is this? Chatravata Narasimha. Chatravata means under the Chatra tree, shade of the Chatra, people tree basically. So whoever takes darshan of this Chatravata Narasimha, they get the shade of the protection of Narasimhadev. Narasimhadev Bhagwan ki jai. And then next is this Karanja Narasimha. Karanja Narasimha, again under the Karanja tree, they get lot of piece of the shade of the Karanja tree. And the next one is Pavana Narasimha. This is back on the bank of Pavana river. Here the darshan is very uplifting and pure. Pavana means uplifting and purifying. So whoever takes darshan of this Narasimha, their consciousness will be uplifted and they will be pleased. They'll be very pleased. See, all these, in not all the Narasimha Devs are in the Ugra form. You can see, so Pavana Narasimha is in the peaceful form, and then there is another Narasimha called as Yogananda Narasimha. He's sitting in the Padmasan, and he's very happy. Actually, he's teaching all the yogasanas to the Prahlad Maharaj. So in this form, it's called as one of the most peaceful form of Narasimhadev. When we go to take darshan of this Narasimhadev, we get lot of peace actually. And then there is Kroda Narasimha. Kroda means Varahadev actually, the name. It's also called as Varaha Narasimhadev. So the face is like the Varahadev. So whoever will take darshan, they'll get the perfection of yoga. What is the perfection of yoga? Back home, back to Godhead. Hari Hari Bol. And then there is Malula Narasimha. So, Malula Narasimha, Ma means Lakshmi Mata. So, actually, what happened? The story goes like this. So, because Brahma had given the boon to Hiranyakashipu that all this, you will not die outside, inside, with weapons and all this boon he had given. So, Narasimhadev gets upset and he takes one of the Vedas. He takes Atharva Veda, 4 Vedas, with that the one Vedas. Now, Brahma, whose mother is Lakshmi Mata, he goes to Lakshmi Mata and says that, please, I want my one Veda back. At that time, Lakshmi Mata does she does little austerity. She'll please the Lord Narasimhadev, and then she'll ask for the benediction that you give that one Veda, Atharva Veda, back. And that peaceful form of Narasimhadev who gives that Atharva Veda back, that is Malula Narasimha. And finally, the last 2 Narasimhas that are there, Jwala Narasimha and Ahobila Narasimha. Jwala Narasimha is anger. Lord is in the anger at its peak. That is, he is just come out of the pillar. That is actually Jwala Narasimha. And Ahobila Narasimha is, he's come out of the pillar. Now he's jumping on Hiranyakashipu, and he's removing his intestines and drinking his blood. So that form of Narasimhadev. So what is the difference between Jwala and Ahobila? It is said that Jwala is in the mood, the Lord is in the mood. Ahobila is where he takes the action, where he pounces on the Hiranyakashipu, takes him on his lap, and then he does the surgery basically on Narasimhadev. So these are the Nava Narsimhas. I have tried to put the photos. So if you get an opportunity, please go visit the Nava Narsimha, take blessings of them. It is said that when we have darshan of this Jwala Narasimha, Ahobila Narasimha, we become completely fearless. We get complete protection of the Lord. And the Lord, when we offer prayers to the Lord, we get lot of instant fearlessness. Many devotees have felt instant fearlessness. And I will just end with this Ahobilam Stotra and Narasimha Kavach. This goes like this. वरह वामन नरसिंह शुभाग्यमीशं क्रीडविलोलहृदयं विबुधेन्द्रवन्द्यं हंसात्मकं परमहंसमनोविहारं वन्दे कृपानिधिं अहोबलनरसिंहं. So we can offer, I offer my respective obeisances to the ocean of mercy, that is Ahobala Narasimha. He is all fortunate Supreme Lord. Varaha, Vamana, Narasimha. His heart is frolicking with the own playful pastimes. You know what pastime he did with Hiranyakashipu. And the most intelligent persons, like all of us, we prayed to him that please give us protection, because nobody can protect us. None of the human beings can protect us. It is you, Narasimha Dev, who is another incarnation of Krishna. It's you who can give lot of protection to all of us. You who can award us fearlessness. Because you see, we are all fearful. So many things actually. Day in day out, we are fearful of the people around us, of the situations, of the circumstances. Somewhere some accident is happening. Somewhere some natural calamity is happening. Somewhere our near and dear ones are troubling us. So all these things are happening. We are in chaos. Like we are in the dukkhalayam in this material world. So we can offer these prayers. And finally, this Narsimha Kavach. So I would request all of you to, offer this Narsimha Kavach daily. It is said that all the great, our Prabhupada's disciples, especially His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and others, they used to, before sleeping, they used to chant this whole Narsimha Kavach. It's very easily available online. It hardly takes 5 to 7 minutes to chant this Narsimha Kavach actually. When we chant this Narsimha Kavach, actually this Narsimha Kavach, it is composed by Prahlad Maharaj himself. You can imagine. And Prahlad Maharaj, he was seeking, he's seeking protection from Narsimha Dev. In this Narsimha Kavach, he's saying, you protect this limb of mine, you protect that limb of mine. So all the limbs of our body will be protected. Definitely, Prahlad Maharaj doesn't need any protection. He's always protected by Narasimha Dev. But we, for us fallen souls, Prahlad Maharaj has written this prayer. So we can chant this prayer begging to Lord. It's in the prayer itself, it is mentioned that please protect my hand, please protect my leg, please protect my face, my nose, like this. So we can ask, because we don't know from which part we can get injured. So we can ask, protecting every limb of our body. And also we can, whenever somebody whom we know is going through some difficulty, going through some hard time, so is be it physically, physically or spiritually, we can chant these prayers for them also, asking, like begging for the protection for them also. We all need protection because, and in it's in the prayer, it is also mentioned from all the directions. It's from, we don't know negative energy can come from which direction, because in this Kali Yuga is full of evil acts. So there is complete evil around us. So when we chant these prayers, we'll get protection from all the direction actually. When we chant Narsimha Kavach, we pray with this mood that, oh Lord, please protect us from all the direction, from every limb, from every aspect of our existence. Please protect us. No matter what kind of negative energy is there around us, we will find the presence of Narasimhadev around us. That Narasimhadev is right with us, and he'll protect us. So Narasimhadev is, he's not just the Lord who just came once for Prahlad Maharaj. He's around all of us. He's around the devotees. So he's just one prayer away. So we can, this Narasimha Chaturdashi, so I request all of you to build our relationship with Narasimhadev. Hear about him. Hear, his stories. Chant his prayers. Today only we have discussed these prayers. So if you like, I can share these prayers with you all, the links. We can chant these prayers very regularly, especially Narasimha Kavach and the first two prayers. We can chant it day in, day out. We can offer obeisances. We can offer a flower to the Lord and say that you protect me not just physically but even spiritually, because little steps I want to take towards spirituality, and so many disturbances are there. Mobile asura is there, and media asura is there. Like there's so many people, like so many people, situations are, hampering my devotion, hampering my day-to-day things also. I am always in chaos, I am always in anxiety. So please give me shelter. So this Narasimha Chaturdashi will offer these prayers, and we'll take more shelter, and we'll fall in love with Narasimha Dev. So Narasimha Dev, he is the source of all power. He will remove all the obstacles from all the negative forces. And we will chant these prayers and remember him daily. Thank you so much. We will just chant one verse of this Narsimha Kavach, and we will end. I will, if you like, I'll share the whole Narsimha Kavach link, and also the Mayapur story link, all the Mayapur pastimes link. Narasimha Kavacham Vakshe Praladenoditam Pura Sarvarakshakaram Punyam Sarvopadravanashanam. I shall now recite the Narasimha Kavach formally spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. It's most pious. It vanquishes all kinds of impediments and provides one from all protection. नरसिम्हदेव भगवान की जय. भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय. जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you so much. Um, If you have any comments, or if you have anything to share, you can share. Otherwise, we will end here. Thank you so much for patiently listening and giving me an opportunity to glorify Narasimhadev. In the process, I learned a lot about Narasimhadev, especially about Mayapur and Ahobilam. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Um, if nothing, we can end. Otherwise, if you have anything to share, you can share.